What up, people? No, today I'm not gonna show you how to make this. Instead, I'm gonna show you something much more boring. So, have you ever had a problem with 3D scans that, they look great and all in depth of field, but if you go a little bit closer on the intersection of the ground and your 3D scan, it looks kind of like garbage, so you have to, blend it with like a particle system or something. But yeah, no more of this. I want to show you quick and dirty and probably the fastest way that I found of blending. So here it's not there yet. I didn't need it here, but yeah, I'm gonna make it in a second. So I have this scene, and you can just use any 3D scan or any ground material or whatever to follow along. Just make sure they kind of make sense together for blending. So I think I'm gonna just take this thing and this ground floor and copy the object and just go into the new file and paste it here. So yeah, here we have the same thing. It's even more obvious now. So what we want to do, and I think this grass is, it's somewhat good, I don't know. I think it's okay looking. So what we want to do is to blend it well. We want to go into the shading workflow, shading tab, whatever. Either do this manually by moving the corner here, or I already have an area that I use set up here. So here on the ground plane we have this whole material, and we have all of this here, and we need to switch our mapping system to some kind of global system actually. So let me add an empty, let's do the cube, and check it as the object here, and yeah, just select, it's called an empty, right? Yeah, so we have basically a controller for our ground position with this empty, which is pretty cool. So now what we want to do is we want to select all of this and hit Ctrl G on our keyboards, bloop, and we have a group simply, and just click it here and rename it to be ground blending. So we have this, and now we need to add this group into our material object here. And what we're gonna do now is actually we're gonna use this group with the material for our object, but it's kind of working already in some weird way. Like if you put it in a depth of field and background, maybe it's gonna actually work, but no. So right now we're gonna basically mix our floor material and our object material right here. So let's add, I think, another texture coordinate node and separate by XYZ node, and make sure your node wrangler add-on is enabled, obviously, node wrangler. So yeah, with this one I just gonna click Ctrl Shift and left click, right, a couple of times so I can see the separation. Yeah, I guess for now let's just pick our it's just gonna be easier to work with object that we already used, so let's have that. It's fine. We just now know that this controller object controls this thing. Okay, so now maybe just plug in the color ramp. You can use math if you like to, but I'm just gonna do this for now. So we have this basically mask, and we want to separate this mask and our we want to use this mask to separate where the object shading is and where the this, and this again, Control Shift click, and where our ground shading is. Ground shading. Okay, so I hope I'm explaining nicely. So now we can, it's pretty interesting. So the default is gonna be this ground floor, and we just connect our node over here. I click it again. I think I can just delete this. Yeah, so this is basically it, but we can do one better. Yeah, so we can control, again, I'm shift control clicking on different areas, if you don't know how Node Wrangler add-on works, to preview the data. It does it, yes. So we can just use the color ramp node to control this gradient, and yeah, it's pretty simple. It's practically done. So before it was like this, and now it's like this. And if you add a little bit of, ooh. Okay, do we have a camera? We have a camera. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's gonna take some time to make it look less like garbage, but so before obvious line, after, and a cool fade. Okay, but let's do one better. I actually stole this idea from some Unreal Engine video I saw some time ago. Yeah, so basically right now we just have blending of the materials, and well, it's a bit boring right now, and just a gradient, whatever. So yeah, let's just add a mix RGB node and put it to overlay, and what are we gonna be mixing? So we can mix depending on your materials, and you should just probably experiment with stuff like roughness or normals. Let's use roughness. Plug roughness into the overlay, and in the gray areas here, it's gonna add a little bit of this roughness texture, which means that well, we can control it like this. We can control, I'm holding shift right now to control this position. We can just make this larger if we want to, and I want to make this larger right now. So this is how it's gonna look. So in black, just so we wouldn't have, we can preview this as it should look real time though. So here, and shadow kind of messes. I guess that's the point, right? We don't need this shadow. So we can see our textured grass is climbing up and overtaking the object here. And this is basically how it was before, a straight line, and now it's blended. And yeah, that's the point. And maybe if I had me some time and effort of blending stuff correctly on my actual work, it would look better. But it's not.